Hello everybody, welcome back to the series on Sass on my channel. In the last video, we saw what are mixins and how you use mixins in Sass. Now if you have missed that video or if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, just check this video out over here. It will let you go through mixins. But at the end of the last video, we were left with this kind of a code, where we were creating a mixin known as text shadow, which was applying text shadow for all our headers. And as useful as mixins can be, they do have a downside. That is, you can see our Sass file is pretty clean, but our CSS file on the other hand has a lot of duplications of the same rule set, and that's a bit of an issue because now you have unnecessary repetition in your CSS files, which is A, making it confusing, B, making it trickier to find a particular block of code while doing something. And as you can see, our mixin is pretty as minimal as it can get. It's just one property value pair, but that's generally not the case. For example, say we have a mixin for a typography as we have over here in this file, and this is not where typographic rule set end. You can add more stuff to it, like more line height or text transform or text shadow, and the list just goes on. There is a lot of typographic selectors, typographic changes, CSS modifications that you can do. And at that point, if we were to compile this Sass, you can see our CSS is getting unnecessarily long. It's just so much duplications. And yeah, of course you might be thinking, then why don't I just create a selector known as typography, something like this, and then put it in my HTML wherever I need this typography, and ignore the CSS for now because it is trying to find a mixin known as typography over for all the declaration down here. But creating a selector dot typography is breaking this BEM naming convention. It is not BEMish, as I like to say. So you might be thinking, now it's a lose-lose situation, right? And that's where you're wrong. We have a middle ground, and that is Sass extensions. Extensions are a lot similar to mixins. You write a block of code and leverage Sass to reuse it, saving you from retyping it over and over again. But unlike mixins, you don't need to declare it with a special identifier that is @mixin. You just simply create a selector like this, and then you simply extend a selector to it. That is, you just write extend my typography. And actually, let me just repeat this all over the place. So I'll just copy this and I'll do this. And as you can see, now it's compiling my code to clean minimal CSS. There is no duplication. And notice how I said extend to the typography, not just extend. That's because you're not extending typography, you're not extending this class. Okay, weird. You're not extending this selector or this class, rather you're extending all of this class with the typographic rule set. So you are adding those and then extending upon it. And that's why when you compile this, as you can see, you are having typography and input and button and area and h1, and you're then writing a common rule set to it, or a common block of CSS to it. So when mixins repeat the blocks of code, extend duplicates the selectors. I might as well come over here and add more style to my h1. For example, let me give it a color of rainbow blue, and you can see it's now extending my h1 first with all the typographic styling, all the styles from typography, and then adding a color to it, which is just so much cleaner. But there is also still one problem. The problem is with this, the typography coming into your CSS. It's a generally good thing to not declare selectors which you don't use anywhere, and that is for two main reasons. First, it avoids confusion, and second, it's just saving you space and stops you from cluttering stuff, because now you know your style sheet and how it works. But after a few months, you might wonder, why do you have a typography over here? Does it even make any sense? And say in the worst situation, you have left the project, somebody else is working over the project, and he just looks over the style sheet and like, why is the typography over there? It creates unnecessary confusion. And now you might be wondering, well, shit, I'm gaining something, but I'm also losing something. And again, it's a lose-lose kind of situation, am I right? But again, Sass comes to the rescue. Sass has an inbuilt placeholder which you can use to hold your rule sets and then extend other selectors on it. And that is nothing but a percent sign. So let me just select all of my .typography declarations and then just remove this dot and make it a percentage. And as you can see, bada bing, bada boom, typography in my CSS is gone. Now my code doesn't have any unnecessary selectors, but my Sass is supremely clean, and we have gained the best of both worlds. Your style sheet, your production style sheet is amazingly clean and as you want it to be. Your Sass is supremely maintainable, easily readable, and just perfect. And I mean, it's pretty cool, right? But now you might be wondering, when should I use Mixins and when should I use extension? And that is what exactly we are going to cover in the next update or the next video on this series. So I hope you guys learned something from this. Extensions are amazing. Mixins are equally as amazing. They both have a lot of similarities and differences, which we will be looking into the next video, along with some more stuff on Sass. So I hope you guys learned something from this. If you did, don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm very sorry for my messy hair. I'm just having a very bad hair day right now, so I hope it didn't bother you much. But apart from that, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Till that time, stay fit, stay awesome, and bye bye.